They say the truth always has a way of breaking free, especially when big egos collide. In a feud nobody saw coming, Kanye West and Iggy Azalea set off alarm bells across the internet with jarring accusations, cryptic tweets, and bombshell revelations that left everyone's jaw on the floor. Were these simply the rants of a restless mind, or is there a hidden reality behind Kanye's volatile behavior? Strap in, because the story you're about to hear is packed with rumors, exposed secrets, and a surprising claim that might just bring down an entire facade. For the past several months, Kanye West seemed to be treading a dangerous line of unhinged posts and shock value claims. Many fans shrugged off his outbursts at first, labeling them part of his creative process. Others grew concerned that he was on a downward spiral. Yet everything took a more unsettling turn when he dragged Iggy Azalea and her 4-year-old son, Onyx, directly into the crosshairs. Iggy was never one to play it safe or hold her tongue. Still, for a while she managed to stay out of Kanye's path of destruction, focusing on raising her son and working on new projects. But once Kanye publicly invoked her child's name, all bets were off. It was the catalyst that propelled her to speak out about rumors she'd long kept under wraps. Suddenly, the quiet snickers floating around the industry about Kanye's alleged double life were shoved into the public's face. But that was only the beginning. Kanye's meltdown wasn't limited to Iggy alone. In the span of mere days, he criticized his ex, Kim Kardashian, for letting their daughter North appear on a music track without him. He took brazen shots at Beyoncé and Jay-Z's children, going so far as to call them mentally ill. Unrelenting and brimming with arrogance, he belittled nearly anyone who stood in his way. His fury soon fixated on the rapper Playboi Carti, known in legal documents by the name Jordan, who'd reportedly cut Kanye from a new album. In typical Kanye style, he scrawled out vile threats and let the world in on them via social media. Words flew that made even the most hardened fans raise their eyebrows. Then he upped the ante by calling out Onyx, Iggy's young son, suggesting that Onyx provide vocals for a track Kanye was pushing. It was a bizarre attempt to drag a toddler into a fight that should have stayed between adults. Iggy wasted no time firing back. She bluntly told Kanye to keep her child's name out of his mouth, at first politely. She clearly understood that his meltdown was well underway, and perhaps she hoped a gentle request might compel him to leave her family alone. Yet if Kanye West is known for anything, it's doubling down. Instead of easing off, he insulted Iggy's romantic history, her alleged industry connections, and the father of her child. That's when Iggy stopped playing nice. But that wasn't the whole story. Might be an understatement here, because the secret she claimed to be holding would later stun everyone paying attention. Behind the scenes, rumblings of Kanye's alleged double life have circulated for years. Most fans never heard about it, as these whispers tended to stay behind closed studio doors and exclusive Hollywood afterparties. But to those in the know, Kanye's rumored interest in men wasn't exactly a secret. Instead, it was a taboo subject, one that only the boldest or most reckless dared to mention publicly. When Iggy hinted she knew about explicit photos and messages Kanye had supposedly sent to other male figures in the industry, it wasn't just a random shot in the dark. According to her, multiple individuals were aware of Kanye's alleged pattern of sending revealing selfies, sometimes accompanied by vivid descriptions of the fantasies he wanted to act out. One name kept surfacing in these hush-hush conversations: Playboi Carti. Carti's flamboyant performances and edgy style had already sparked plenty of speculation about his sexuality. But hooking up with Kanye West? That sounded too explosive to be believed. Critics claimed Iggy was inventing a rumor to get back at Kanye for his vile words about her son. Others insisted it was the final puzzle piece that explained Kanye's erratic hostility and the bizarre ways he fixated on younger male artists. The tension between Kanye, Carti, and Iggy now had the world enthralled. Yet the real shock came next. Because Iggy was just warming up. Anyone familiar with Iggy's rise to fame knows she's not one to sit silently while someone spits on her name, or worse, attacks her family. Once Kanye claimed he'd chosen not to smash Iggy out of respect for certain male artists in her past, she fired back in a series of tweets that were equal parts savage and illuminating. She called Kanye's bluff by referencing specific details that only someone with first-hand knowledge or direct evidence could possibly know. She alleged that Kanye had been sending Playboi Carti more than just friendly text messages. According to Iggy, explicit photos were involved, along with lewd invitations to join him in private. Her tweets suggested these pictures weren't an isolated occurrence. He does this often with other men in the industry, she claimed, causing shockwaves across social media. But it didn't end there. Iggy also hopped on a live stream describing the surreal encounter she once had with Kanye. In her words, it was supposed to be a professional meeting about a possible collaboration or brand endorsement. Instead, she found herself in an uncomfortable situation, forced to witness explicit material Kanye wanted to show her. She insisted he didn't bother asking for her consent before displaying it all. For her, it was a wake-up call. The man she'd once idolized for his musical genius now struck her as unhinged, intrusive, and possibly hiding something deeper. And what happened next would shock everyone. Because once the allegations hit the internet, people across all spectrums, from devout fans to casual listeners, started digging for more. Playboi Carti, no stranger to controversy himself, had already weathered rumors surrounding his orientation. His experimental fashion choices, cryptic lyrics, and rebellious persona fueled endless fan theories. When he was spotted leaving late-night studio sessions in unusual attire, or rumored to have parted ways with ex-partners in dramatic fashion, some onlookers wondered if he was searching for his true identity in plain view. Yet, the speculation soared to new heights when Iggy called out Carti's alleged fling with Kanye. Carti's public response to Kanye's meltdown was short, a curt message telling him to shut up before things got worse. By worse, many assumed Carti feared even more private details might surface. After all, Kanye was on a warpath, and it wasn't clear where the line was drawn. Some fans connected the dots between Carti's frequent mention of anti-everything in interviews and the fluid persona he'd been slowly unveiling. Not too long ago, he'd boasted about ignoring everyone else's rules and living by his own definitions, statements that sounded rebellious at the time but now carried extra weight. Did he always intend to hint at an unconventional relationship behind the scenes? Was Kanye part of a bigger story that Carti was determined to conceal? Naturally, the internet conversation exploded, with half the crowd convinced the rumors were 100% real and the other half dismissing it all as a desperate stunt. But amidst the debate, a question lingered. Why would Kanye suddenly and profusely apologize to Iggy if there wasn't at least some kernel of truth to what she threatened to expose? After Iggy aired her grievances and Kanye mustered an unexpected apology, the online temperature shifted. Suddenly, the same Kanye who'd mocked Beyoncé and Jay-Z's children wasn't firing back at Iggy. He'd never shown that level of remorse before. That odd calmness only fueled the belief that Iggy's claim struck a sensitive nerve, perhaps a nerve that threatened to unravel Kanye's carefully curated image. Fellow celebrities mostly kept their distance, issuing no official comments, though a few subtle likes on social media indicated whose side they might be on. The overarching sentiment was that these revelations about Kanye's personal life were too hot to touch. Even some of his closest industry friends went radio silent. Meanwhile, fans split into two camps. One group insisted Kanye had always displayed questionable behavior toward other men, chalking it up to creative eccentricity, or claiming he was just testing boundaries. The other group believed Iggy was stirring drama, bitter over her complicated past with Carti, and simply orchestrating a scandal to gain attention. But would Iggy truly risk her credibility by making such specific accusations if she didn't have at least some evidence? Amid all the chaos, a new conversation emerged. Does the music industry protect certain powerful figures despite serious allegations, only speaking up when someone from the inside steps forward? Recent controversies with top stars have shown just how deep certain secrets can be buried until the moment they aren't. The tangled web between Iggy Azalea, Kanye West, and Playboi Carti is more than a random internet sideshow. It's a revealing glimpse into how quickly reputations can unravel when people you've wronged decide to bear it all. We witnessed Kanye's habit of provoking others explode in his face once he brought an innocent child into the fray. And the secrets that surfaced weren't the typical gossip. Instead, we got a window into alleged hidden lifestyles, potential manipulations, and what may be the tip of an industry iceberg much larger than we realize. So, where does the truth end and the rumor mill begin? Are these revelations simply the result of a heated feud, or are they warnings that there's far more lurking behind the scenes? Hollywood thrives on mystery and theatrics, yet every so often, a story emerges that's too jarring to be mere tabloid chatter. Consider everything you've learned here and ask yourself, do we really know the people we idolize, or are we just seeing what they want us to see? One thing is certain, when artists at this level clash, the fallout often reshapes the public's perception forever. With Kanye's apology out in the open and Iggy standing her ground, it seems unlikely that we've heard the last of these allegations. Whether they fade into obscurity or blow up into a life-altering scandal for everyone involved remains to be seen. But then again, that's the nature of secrets. They have a habit of refusing to stay hidden for long.